Close the door. It's time.
Dad, are you coming back?
I don't know, son. Okay, stand the Lord. Hey, wait.
I thought I outgrew my problems. Grew up as well.
Enjoy it. Work hard, play hard.
Crap.
Get out of here! Get out!
Man, you knew what you're supposed to do.
Clean yourself up, idiot.
No, I don't want to.
Sitting out across the number here. From the 12, Jones gets a block. Takes off and he is gone. Trying to stay upright and he trips. Very important people. Oh my God, what the heck?
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? It is showtime. That's right, TMI Sports, hosted by Mr. TMI and friends. You got doggone right, because it's and friends. Hey, I want to let y'all know, first of all, man, it's been a little struggle for Mr. TMI today. Y'all don't know this, but I'm going to let you know because TMI, but I had a colonoscopy exam today. Yeah, they went up in me. Yeah. And let me tell y'all something. First of all, I did tell the doctor, thank you for going in there and leaving all switches that were currently off in the same position. He did not trip any switch in there, so I don't want none of your little sweet dogs coming at me because y'all know I done had this exam now. Also, I ain't got to go back in 10 years. I'm going to say, black men, get yourself checked out, man. It's all right. You be asleep. If they violate your hair, you don't know about it. They keep it in the room. But we got a lot going on today, man. TMI Sports want to talk about some things. First of all, I want to be right by bringing my special guest on because we got a debate. We got a debate. So I'm going to bring on none other than the man himself, Mr. Floyd. What's up?
What's up? I guess tonight I'm the Shannon Sharp of the.
Yeah, do it.
I got my Bronco song.
Hey, but this the funny part. I'm the Ray Lewis because I got the Ray Lewis. Now, let me explain something to them because I got some people that misunderstand my sports feelings. Yes, when I was in Chicago growing up, I was a diehard Bulls, Bears, and Cubs fan. I'm still a Cubs fan. I'm still a Bears fan. I'm not a Bulls fan. I am a Miami Heat fan. Because guess what? When you grow up, you can make your own damn choices. That's what I found out. That's number one. Number two, My secondary team is the Baltimore Ravens because I'm sick and tired of year after year after year, them damn Bears coming in last place practically. Hell, tired of that shit. So I got to sit there and continue to take that abuse for my whole life to show that so I got to die with a Bears jersey on, forever losing because y'all feel like I'm supposed to be diehard. Anyway, Ty, you got
It's
your
true.
Broncos. What's up with that?
Hey man, I've been a Broncos fan since I was a kid. My one of my family members was drafted back in the 80s. He played with John Elway. His name was Andre Townsend.
Okay,
So,
sound familiar. That sounds very familiar.
oh yeah, Andre Townsend. He was a bad boy. He was one of the D linemen. Came from Mississippi State. All-American. Like I said, he played during. I think he played at least 9 years. He went to the first. At least I know the first 2 Super Bowls, but I think he was at all 3 of those Super Bowls that Elway lost in the beginning.
Right.
He was part of that defense. So, at that time I was living in Mississippi. So, in Mississippi we ain't had no NFL teams. So they was either everybody you met, unless they was from somewhere, they was either Cowboy, 49ers, or Steelers fan because that's all you saw on TV really.
Right.
Them was the ones. So when he got, like I said, he got drafted by the Broncos, and I never switched back over. I think a lot of my family probably supported, and then came back to the Cowboys or whoever else they was with.
Right.
But yeah, I was diehard. I didn't care when we lost those 3 Super Bowls. I was a kid and I didn't care. I still was there, and so then we came back and we won 3. So I'm happy.
And that's exactly what. First of all, I get mad when them Cowboy fans be pissing me off, dog. They be pissing me. Let me tell you something. First of all, do y'all realize the Rangers are in the World Series, Cowboys fans? Y'all so happy about a damn Cowboys victory, y'all don't get the Rangers no props. That's the reason why I like the Rangers, because they shitted on the Rangers when I first got here. Yeah. So I like the Rangers. First of all. Second of all, they up 2-1 in the World Series. And number 3, they winning 7-0 right now. That is a live score from TMI Sports right there. So y'all holler at me when you hear me. Now, speaking of hollering, Ty, I got to play some, dude, and I want to get your feedback on it. It has something to do with sports. But we got to see, damn it, if somebody ass need to be fired. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this for us, y'all. Y'all, everybody rise and take your hats off right now.
The singing of the Star-Spangled Banner performed tonight by 6-time Grammy Award-nominated rapper and artist Flava Flav.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs burst, sting in there, gave proof to the night that our flag was was still there. Oh, say, does that star spangled banner yet wave? Or the land of the free and the home of the brave, of the brave, of the brave.
Play ball. Flavor Flav, everybody. Y'all didn't know. Y'all did not know that Flav had that talent. Ty, what's wrong?
Hey,
Woo! Oh, that was great. That was great. Ty, what's your reply on that?
you know what? I've heard Roseanne Barr. I've heard Carl. I want to say Carl Tom, not Carl. Carl Lewis.
Carl Lewis.
And somebody else. I can't remember right now. I see their face. I just can't picture. Flav. They were worse than Flav. I'll say that.
Okay.
Whoever, unless they say that this was reality TV show night at the game and they was giving away bobbleheads of Flavor Flav or whatever, or it was Public Enemy night and he was the only one that could beat her, so they asked him. If you don't have that explanation, first of all, he needs to be fired. Whoever booked him needs to be fired. I don't blame Flavor Flav for nothing he did except for one thing. One thing that I blame Flavor Flav for doing.
What'd you blame?
At the end of the song, when he said, "And the home of the brave, and the home of the," and he had to come back and do it 3 times.
Yeah.
I just knew that he was building us up for the one thing, the only thing that we care to hear come out of Flavor Flav's mouth. I was expecting, "And the home of the brave." Yeah, boy. If he would have did that,
it would have made sense.
I would have gave him a whole pass.
Right.
But the fact that he didn't say "yeah, boy" at the end, Flav need to be fired too.
See, let me tell y'all what's happening though. What's happening, people don't understand. First of all, Flav needed that little $5 that they gave him playing that national anthem, man, because Flavor of Love ain't been on for quite some time. So he got to make that little money however he can, touring with them every now and then and, little special signings and all that. But he needed that little hot dollar that night. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks, y'all paid Damian Lillard that much that y'all can't pay somebody else to sing the damn national anthem. They said, "Oh, we forgot to book somebody for the national anthem. Who's here? Flav. Let's get him to do it." Come on, man. And I want to rewind. I want to do something. At least Flav knew what his range was, right?
Yeah.
Flav knew I got to stay in this zone. If I stay in this zone, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Carl Lewis didn't do. He tried to go out his zone. He tried to go out his zone. Now, I'm trying to figure out who had the funniest ending, Carl or Flav. Flav built it up, right? Like it was a whole band playing behind him. And did you hear the when he felt like he was jamming, did you hear the miscellaneous snapping his fingers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I almost died. Now,
I thought he was trying to get the crowd to beat with him.
Carl not only made mistakes, but then let the crowd know,
Yeah,
and then he said, it's going to get better from here, y'all.
Right.
And it got worse.
Look, when Carl Lewis said, that was the funniest part of the video.
And Ty, when he said, utter free, I ain't forgot that one. Carl Lewis said, the land, utter free.
Because he knew he wasn't going to hit that high note. He was like,
utter free. So, yeah, hey, I give Flav, let me tell you something. I'm going to put that up there with Whitney and who else my boy did it? Marvin Gaye. So it's Whitney, Marvin Gaye, then Flav for me. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into this TMI news because I am on fire about the last weekend's pay-per-view that went down. And so if for those of y'all that's not up on it, man, y'all check this video out and we'll be right back to talk about it.
Fury missing with the right hand, and Ngannou coming to the inside. Short right hand as Fury went backwards. And this is what Ronaldo saw in that last round. An elbow came in on the back end of that. Separation trying to drive down a right hand. There's a right hand from Fury. Francis standing his ground, solid, steady, determined, and willing to punch as he turns Fury.
Now, Ty, I'm not sure if you saw the highlights, right? And you follow boxing. You're definitely a connoisseur of boxing. Your thoughts on the whole decision for Tyson Fury, even if you ain't see the fight, you saw his face.
Yeah. A lot of times the face does show, unless your name is Animal Fletcher, which is going back in history for boxing. Unless your name is Animal Fletcher or Abdullah the Butcher or Dusty Rose, they had that.
Or Ric Flair.
Or what's his name? Carlos Colon.
Yeah.
Unless you that, then normally your face shows the face. He look at the two boxers and you look at their face, and that normally tells you who won. But from the clips that I saw the highlights. I did go back and watch highlights of it, and it just looked like Francis was throwing more cleaner shots. He was connecting with cleaner shots. Fury was just doing what he normally does and just kind of just bolos out there with his. I don't know. Maybe they need to disqualify him because he walk around with that tire around his waist.
You talking about that biscuit dough? Like when you open a can of biscuits, that part that puff out, it scare you.
He got to be the worst shaped person in the world. He the worst shaped athlete in the world, and that's including sumo wrestlers.
Right, because at least they fat makes sense.
Right. He don't even. He has no shape. It's like he just looked like the Blob. Like he could play the Blob. But yeah, from what I saw, and then just a lot of feedback and commentary that I've listened to since then, it looks like that was the case. That it was just it was a wash job.
Man, I'm about to explode on this fight because here's what I saw. What's up, the Titan Spartan? I see you out there, and he said Ray Charles.
Ray Charles was the judge.
He's talking the national anthem. You damn right. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Ray Charles definitely the Titan Spartan. Now I'm about to explode on this fight. So in this fight, oh God, do I need to say it? Do I even need to say it, Miss Vent?
Oh,
all right. So in this fight, this is what I saw. Okay, if anybody remember how Fury fought Wilder I'm gonna say 2 out of the 3 times, right? The first fight, I think, was a head-up match. They went at it, both showed both strengths. It ended up in a tie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the next fight, it was cheating allegations and things like that, right? Which I ain't gonna lie, I saw some real precarious things going on in that second fight that I was like, yo, this ain't right. So the third fight, he gained a bunch of weight and leaned on Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder had gained weight, but we all know when a big man is leaning on you and that's something you're not used to doing, that gets you tired. So in saying that, he went in with the same freaking philosophy to fight Ngannou. Dumbass decision, Tyson Fury. And if anybody out there in Tyson Fury's camp is listening to this, whoever was training him need their ass whooped. Here's the reason why. Ngannou is an MMA fighter that's used to what? Tussling with big mother, right or wrong.
Right.
So you're not going to tire him out by leaning on him. Then all of your dirty tactics that you usually use, don't they usually do that kind of stuff in MMA? All of the grabbing, the head gripping, and the choking, and all that. They do all that in MMA. And this man is the heavyweight champion of the MMA world uncrowned. So how the hell you thought that philosophy that you used to whoop Wilder was going to work with somebody who used to everything you did? You hit that man with an elbow, he didn't blink.
Right.
That man didn't blink. Then on top of that, you trying to lean on him. This dude strong. First of all, I don't know what it is about black people that's not from America. Strong than a mother. So you're not going to put all the biscuit dough on him and he get tired. You never sped him up. He kept his pace. And then on top of that, y'all disrespected the fact that one of the greatest heavyweights of all time was his trainer. Not the greatest heavyweight, but the greatest knockout artist training today's greatest knockout artist. Come on now. That was a stupid philosophy for you to think that you was going to go in there and use your big man and your boxing skills to beat him. That was stupid. Then on top of that, Ty, when you seen Ngannou fight right in MMA, how often was it a ground game? Or was it mostly hands? So you're not taking him to a foreign world that he's not used to.
Yeah,
you're not taking him into deep waters and drowning them.
Right.
So it was a stupid philosophy, and you lost. Now let's talk about that part. Ain't nowhere in hell boxing is gonna give the decision to an MMA fighter. Period. He could have knocked Tyson Fury out, and they would have raised Tyson Fury's hand while he was laying on the stretcher. Because boxing would have lost millions, and not just millions, but credibility.
Yeah.
As always being a dominant sport and all that other stuff. Let me tell you something. That makes you respect who we're going to talk about even more later, in my opinion. So I think them judges, and then on top of that, for an MMA fighter to come in and fight your best heavyweight, right? This y'all best heavyweight, and only come up 1 point short, one judge short. That's an embarrassment in itself, along with everybody else saying that he's the true winner of the fight.
Yeah, because it definitely was just 1 point.
It was 1 freaking point. And guess what Tyson Fury said? Well, I'm going to move on to my next fight, or I'm going to retire. No, fight him again.
Right.
If you so-called, because this is what pissed me off. Y'all, excuse me, my white cousins. I got to get on y'all for a second. But when white people do the same shit that black people do, they're seen as entertaining and heroes and all this other stuff. But when black people do it, we seen as arrogant and all of that other names that you want to throw out there. Arrogant, cocky, and all that other stuff. Bad for business, all that. And in my opinion, they love, no matter where you're from, they love their great white hype. America has proven before that they will cheer a white man from Lord knows where before they cheer a black man from America.
Yep.
They love their great white hype. So if he would have lost by decision to a MMA fighter from where they from? Cameroon? Do you know where Ngannou is from?
Hold on.
Wherever he from, they walk to the stove. They carry boulders or something to the stove. Something, because that dude is just ridiculous.
Yeah, Cameroon.
Let me tell you something. If he would have lost to a dude from Cameroon, you know they already, the world looks down on colored nations. That wouldn't have been a great thing for the boxing business. I ain't gonna lie. They finally feel like they got boxing back when they dethroned Deontay Wilder. When Deontay Wilder got dethroned, they finally feel like they got boxing back. And Deontay Wilder had some legitimate complaints. This man had a dent in the side of his skull.
Yeah.
Fury glove was as wiggly as a winter glove with snow in the mud, with wet snow in the mud.
Mm.
All of these things that point, his sparring partners coming out and saying that they saw him put stuff in his gloves in sparring before. All of these things, but all them damn look, boy, what they say back in the day, Ty, cheaters prove.
Yeah.
Cheaters prove, because it was nothing you could do to Ngannou that rocked him. Nothing. And then these mugs gonna get surprised when the boxer throw an elbow and not the MMA dude. Now, what if the MMA dude would have threw an elbow back at his ass?
Oh yeah, he wouldn't gone.
So that's what I'm screaming about this decision. This decision is the worst for boxing. I ain't gonna lie. The next big heavyweight pay-per-view that comes out, I wouldn't watch that shit. Because you're not watching the winner. You're watching the privileged.
Yeah.
And if I did watch it, I'll go for the other little dude because he seems to have proven himself even more. So the Titan Spartan, hold on, let me get your comments. Titan Spartan said Wilder really won that first fight. Titan Spartan, call in, man, 817-466-6638, because you know I want to hear from you anyway, Mr. Dillinger. He's a grappler. All of MMA do, everything he tried in the ring, that's what Ngannou. Now, Ty, I don't know if they had this on highlight, bro, but he grabbed Fury with his gloves by the head and threw him.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Dude, I was like, yo. Yeah, see, Fury, he used to manhandling. No. So now, any sensible boxer, right? They make adjustments in fights, right?
Right.
Any sensible boxer would have did what? Said, damn, I gotta box this dude.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tussle with this dude. So how is Fury seen as such an awesome boxer when he couldn't make that adjustment? Mike Tyson is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I don't care what nobody said about that. Ain't nobody else got no tattoo on their face. Fury is the great white hope. Ngannou was the winner. That's what Titan Spartan. So I'm gonna say thank you for that, Cameroon. And Ty, thank you for looking that up. We got to get into what the real debate is. And the real debate is the Mayweather era. Because I want to know if that was fact or fiction. I think Ty got a different take that he want to spin on this topic. So what we going to do is we going to check out the video. And then we going to come right back as soon as I can find something good. Hit it.
Floyd Mayweather, you're getting a righty and sometimes a left. He's a gifted athlete, but on top of that, feels with confidence. Meanwhile, Mayweather, hit by a right hand. And he's in and he's not going to lose control of this fight. Here's Canelo getting over the top. Later on, he would score with a good hand control with his own right hand. That's good sports, so quick on his feet. Mayweather, so tough to hit him. He's got the reach, and then he can switch jab to right hand in the corner.
All right. So I got to read what I read before. Shane Mosley said a lot of fighters from his era would have beaten Floyd Mayweather. Shane Mosley said, I think a lot of guys in my era or anybody around my era, if we would have fought in the same era, it wouldn't be a Floyd Mayweather era. Look how good Oscar did with him. Some people think Oscar won. Oscar was way past his prime, already beat Oscar twice. That is what Mr. Mosley had to say. So, Ty, I'm going to let you get yours in first, bruh. You got the stage, man. What do you think about the Mayweather era? Fact or fiction? The deep breath is about to go down.
All right, so you about to go viral right now. I don't know what's going on with my camera because every time I put it on the camera, it shows me frozen.
No, you good. I can tell you what to do, but it'll probably just freeze again. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
you keep it on audio.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say this, and I know it's gonna upset you. It's gonna upset millions of people out there. Whoever
comes. They ain't giving me no money. I ain't gonna be mad. Go ahead.
No, because I'm about to break. I'm finna do a skip Bayless thing and bring somebody else in this that ain't even this ain't even about.
Go ahead.
The Floyd era is gonna, to me, is equivalent to, you ready? The Jordan era.
Okay.
And so now this is where I'm gonna make people mad. There was great players in the league when Jordan was in the league. I don't believe that he had the caliber of competition that eventually evolved in the league because, and I say this because what happened is Jordan introduced a new way of playing, a new philosophy in the game. And so after Jordan, the new classes that came in, the new classes of players that came in were Jordan-like. They tried to imitate Jordan. They wanted to play like Jordan. Up until then, the closest thing that you had with a Jordan in the league was, to me, Dr. J. Okay. And he was an older player, and it's still that style of play wasn't, I'm gonna say, not necessarily respected. There was a certain way that you play the game and you play it and you play your role. Jordan came in and said, I'm going to carry an entire team on my back if I have to. And so you got players that in today's players, that's why you see that. Just like eventually we're going to look at and say that there's another generation of players now that looks like Steph Curry's because all they do is shoot. They're going to walk out the dressing room shooting.
Right.
Floyd, even though Floyd was closer to De La Hoya and Shane Mosley's ages than most people realize, Floyd had a younger spirit. He was in the smaller weight classes when they were doing what they were doing. So he was not seen as a challenger to them. As they started getting mature and older, then Floyd started picking up weight and moving up. But I'm going to say this. I watched and I went back today and watched the Shane Mosley fight with Mayweather. If you take round 1 and round 2 and cut them away from that rest of that fight, you don't even know who was fighting Mayweather the rest of that fight.
Right.
Round 1 and round 2, Shane Mosley had enough energy to do 2 rounds. He was 30. I think he was 38, 39. I'm going to say the Shane Mosley that walked in the ring and beat the hell out of De La Hoya in that first fight, if we would have saw that Shane Mosley, that young Shane Mosley with the energy and the fire that he had when he stepped in the ring with De La Hoya, in that first fight, I think that would have been a different fight for Floyd. Shane rocked Floyd that first 2 rounds and gave him, but it was clearly shown that Floyd was he just had too much talent for an aged boxer who was on their last legs to even compete with him. And so round 3 through whatever they went through, I think he made it to the end, didn't he?
It went decision. It was decision.
The rest of that fight, Shane Mosley wasn't even. He was a shell of himself, which he's saying the same thing. Shane said the same thing about De La Hoya. Again, De La Hoya and Mayweather were only 4 years apart. Mayweather was 30 and De La Hoya was 34. But De La Hoya hadn't fought in over, I think they said 32 months. He hadn't fought. He had lost his last 2 fights. So he was done. He was
too busy wearing dresses at that point.
Yeah. He was already living his celebrity life. Boxing had already pretty much passed him by. So that's not to give him an excuse, because he decided to step in the ring. That was a lot of money. He couldn't turn it down. But when you are the rising champion, walking through, dominating everybody, and you fighting a former champion who in their last 2 fights have lost and they hadn't boxed in over a year, there is no reason why Mayweather shouldn't have won that fight. De La Hoya looked for that De La Hoya that we saw. He still looked good against if this is the best that you got at that time. That's not taking away nothing from Mayweather. He has changed boxing during his era, and he's gonna go down as one of the greatest. But I think that when we start really looking at the comparison over the years from some of those boxers in the past, and then we're gonna start seeing some of these boxers in the future. Right now, I'm looking at a Terrence Crawford and saying, if Terrence and Mayweather was in the ring together, I'm not sold that that Mayweather is winning this, because Crawford shows me a lot, and I'm a put a bookmark there. But Crawford reminds me of the person that I think is the best welterweight. I'm gonna say welterweight / middleweight boxer ever, ahead of Floyd. I'm not saying that I put Crawford ahead of Floyd, but the person that he reminds me of, that's who I put ahead of Floyd.
Who he remind you of?
Ray Leonard.
Okay.
Not necessarily his fighting style, just the type of fighter that he is, and the type how he approaches fights. I think now back to the main question, what Shane was saying. I think if Floyd would have came up when De La Hoya was, because Floyd, again, people check it, Floyd was down in the lightweights running stuff. But if he would have came up during the time De La Hoya was before De La Hoya fought Trinidad, he wouldn't have been able to see De La Hoya if he would have fought him then. And again, that's the same time that Shane Mosley was doing what he was doing. Again, Shane is a little bit smaller. I don't know if I'm giving Shane the edge, but I'm definitely, you're not seeing that watch job that you saw when they fought when Shane was 38. Like that was totally different. Outside of that, you got Trinidad. I'm not picking Floyd over Trinidad. Over a game Trinidad. Floyd didn't have the power to put. Trinidad's issue always came down to people who had power. Floyd had speed. Trinidad gonna walk you down.
I'm gonna write some of these notes down so I don't forget a damn thing.
I'm taking Trinidad over Trinidad. He was way bigger. He was way bigger than Floyd. He would have had trouble with Trinidad. Anybody else? Those were the 3. I mean, Winky was too big for Floyd too.
Yeah. Winky was ended up what, 160?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Trinidad, they all went up to damn near cruiserweights.
Yeah, Trinidad went way up. He went to light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, yeah. So just body size, they were gonna be too much for Floyd. They won Chico Morales, big, tall, 6'8", weigh 12 pounds. Couldn't take a punch.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Go ahead, keep going.
I think to Shane's point, I don't think it would have been a case of was he 40-0, 50-0? I don't think that would have been the case. I'm not saying that he couldn't beat them guys, but it would have been some double backing. It would have been some fight 2, fight 3 to even out the score. But to go undefeated in that era, nobody did it. It was too hard. You had too many decent boxers. But I'm gonna say even the era before that, with Ray Leonard and them, there's no way Mayweather goes undefeated if he fighting them guys. No way. Now, De La Hoya and them, there's a chance, but I would say no. But in the Ray Leonard era, he definitely wouldn't have been undefeated.
So wait a minute. Now let me stretch my legs on this. Because here's what see, I think people are stuck in the Money Mayweather part of his career and totally forgot about the pretty boy Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, which is lightweight.
So let me explain something to you. Every fighter that you talked about in that era, what were they? Tough.
Yeah,
they were tough. Don't get me wrong. In the pretty boy era, Floyd whooped a lot of tough asses. A lot of tough asses. If you go back and look at the Charbet Mitchell fight, if you go back and look at the Chop Corley fight, Floyd went to war.
Yeah, but them were kids.
No. We ain't finna discount this.
They weigh 12 pounds.
Hold on. We're not gonna discount this. They went to war. I'm talking about blood. And if anybody remember, pretty boy Floyd kept hurting his hand.
Yeah, he kept breaking them.
He kept breaking his hands. So when he went to Money Mayweather, he went to smarter Mayweather. And so he used defense. Right?
Right.
However, don't get it twisted that Floyd ain't tough, because that's what everybody's saying. He can't whoop Hagler, can't whoop Ray Leonard, can't whoop all these tough. And don't get me wrong, I feel like Sugar Ray Leonard would have been his toughest. Fast, hit hard, and was tough. Ray Leonard. So when you talk about Felix Trinidad, who whooped his ass?
Roy Jones.
Roy Jones Jr.
But again, you talking about that's a heavyweight.
Hold on, no, it had nothing to do with power.
Huh?
You can ask Trinidad. I ain't gonna say you gonna ask Trinidad. That's stupid. Go back to the post-fight interview of the Trinidad Roy Jones fight. Trinidad said, no, he didn't. It wasn't necessarily power. He's too fast.
Right. No, but yeah, that goes to my so this is the point. This is my point when I'm saying power in that situation. First of all, Trinidad walked around at that weight, so him making the weight wasn't going to be an issue. So he was naturally a big guy,
right?
For a welterweight. The problem is when you fight for so long at that weight size, when you start moving up, all of a sudden the thing that tends to be your bread and butter no longer is your bread and butter. One Trinidad never was fast. He wasn't a fast.
No, he was power. He was power.
Yeah, he was a power puncher.
Right.
And for someone who normally walks around at 175 to be able to condition himself to fight at 147, he had massive punching power.
Wait. I think that you're kind of fast forwarding Trinidad, because you got to understand, at that time that Trinidad was shrinking down to 147, he was not 175.
Right. No. He was
walking 175. He wasn't walking around at 175.
At the beginning. So when he became a champion, he started right before Don King did the tournament, and he started moving up. I want to say the last 2 years of Trinidad being in the welterweight division, he was having problems making weight. And so they had already been talking about him moving up. The problem was they were still trying to get the fight with De La Hoya, because him moving up to middleweight or junior welterweight, none of that would have made any difference for Trinidad money wise if he never got a chance to fight De La Hoya. So he was struggling. As soon as they got the De La Hoya fight out the way, then it was time for him to get up there. So over time, he did start picking up the weight. But no, I know you're talking about in the early days. No, he was probably around 150, probably walking around 160, 150.
Right.
But,
so let me expand on what I'm talking about. All right. So Felix Trinidad at 147, he was power, right? But he wasn't speed.
Never.
We agreed he wasn't speed.
Right.
And we saw that at a heavier weight, speed killed him, meaning not him being slow, but a faster boxer. We all know Roy Jones was fast as lightning.
Right. But
who's on the level speed-wise with Roy?
Hold on, but don't leave out one thing. Don't leave out with Roy. You got speed and you got power.
You do.
And you got power
now you got to do this though. If Roy Jones was 147, he would have about the same power as Mayweather. Pretty boy, Floyd, not money.
Right.
Pretty boy. Now, and I'm saying Pretty Boy was probably 135 at the time, I'm thinking, before he went to money. Yeah. So, and saying that, what I'm saying is, Felix Trinidad wouldn't have been able to catch Mayweather. Right?
Well, he wasn't able to catch De La Hoya until De La Hoya.
No. Do not jump my argument. Listen to this. Didn't Felix Trinidad beat Oscar?
No, I'm agreeing with you. He wouldn't have been able to, as speed-wise. That's what I'm saying. He had problems with De La Hoya's speed, so I know he's going to have problems with Mayweather's speed.
However, he beat Oscar. Whether it was a raggedy scorecard, which many think it was, or not, he beat Oscar.
Right.
Oscar gave him problems with speed because that was the most mediocre we saw Trinidad at that time.
Yeah.
Not money. Pretty Boy would have washed Felix Trinidad.
I don't think so.
He would have washed him, and if he washed him and Oscar lost to Felix, he'd have washed Oscar.
Nah.
I
think you got so when you say boxers make fights, there are some teams that are more equipped to handle, certain teams than others. Like I mean, we go to football. I think the way the 49ers play, they have problems. Cowboys have problems with them, but then turn around and 49ers have a problem with Minnesota, but Dallas washes Minnesota.
Right.
So the styles make the fight.
We definitely know styles make fights, but what I'm saying is, like, many people think that it just would have been Mayweather getting his clock clean back in the day.
No.
These guys are younger. I want to point this out in my argument too, and then I'm gonna let you get you some chunks in. The man that's saying this shit, Shane Mosley. How did Floyd Mayweather whoop him? Absolutely, Shane caught him. He caught him. He should have did something with it, but he didn't do nothing with it.
He didn't have nothing left.
And just like I said about Tyson Fury, real boxers know how to make adjustments in the fight. Floyd could have knocked Shane Mosley out, but he didn't. Look at that fight. He let back on Shane. He was about to knock Shane out, and he let up. Now, what I want to say about that is the same way, because Mayweather, he told Mosley what his weakness is, and Mosley has had this weakness for his whole career.
Yeah.
He jiggles his fist before he throws.
He does. Yeah, you watch the fight, you can see anytime you see him coming.
So how in the hell wouldn't a younger, quicker, hit harder Mayweather lose to Shane Mosley being younger when you beat him with the same tendencies that he had his whole career? But
the difference is that's not the same. We know, looking at that fight, And I say just compare the two. Watch the first Shane De La Hoya fight. Watch Shane and Floyd. You can tell the speed wasn't there. It's just like with my Broncos. When Terrell Davis was playing, them 2 years, them 3 years that we was killing, everybody knew what play they was running. The offensive lineman said it. They sometimes they will walk to the line. As they're walking to the line, they're telling the defense, we're coming this way. Stop us. Shane was picture perfect as far as he jiggled his gloves, and then he shakes both, and he actually shakes both of them.
He shakes both of them. He jiggled his fists, and then he.
But when
wait, real quick, Ty, didn't Ball Bull do that in Mike Tyson?
Yeah, that was the same thing. It was similar to that. It was similar. Him and Glass Joe. Glass Joe did it when you hit him too many times, he would do it. But the difference was a younger Shane Mosley got away with it because he was so fast. You saw it coming, you couldn't stop it. Older Shane Mosley, and the proof is the first 2 rounds, he still had a little fire in him. He was able to catch Mayweather a couple of times, but he ran out of gas.
You know what he ran out of? That monkey oil that him and Holyfield was doing.
Yeah.
That's what he ran out of.
He just wasn't. I just think that was a bad, outside of taking the money, that was a bad fight for Shane. He was too old. He had already had numerous bad battles with Winky Wright and people that he was done. He was done.
No. But who whooped a young, fresh Shane Mosley?
Winky?
No. What's my boy name? He passed away. Oh, shoot. Somebody look. Hey, Mr. Dillinger, you out there. Who was that beat Shane Mosley twice in his young days? Dark-skinned brother. But he ended up losing to Mayorga. The dark-skinned brother ended up losing to Mayorga twice. I can't think of his name. He passed away, but Mr. Dillinger will get it for me. Hey, but that was a young Shane. And God damn, his name is on the tip of my tongue, but he beat him twice. He beat a young Shane twice.
Oh, Vernon Forrest.
Vernon Forrest.
Yeah. Oh,
and y'all trying to tell me that Vernon Forrest could whoop Mayweather?
Hold on. Vernon was not Vernon. No, Vernon would have lost. Vernon would have. No, I don't know.
His ass kicked by Mayweather.
Vernon wasn't no scrub.
He wasn't no scrub, but Vernon lost to Mayorga twice. Everybody else polished Mayorga.
Yeah, but again, I think that goes make fights. That goes to style makes fights. He wasn't. I'm gonna say this about Vernon Forrest, and I hate, rest in peace. I hate to say this, but no, wait a minute. He beat him. No, he lost. He lost both. He wasn't so. Vernon wasn't so. He wasn't a smart fighter.
Hold on, Vernon had that jab.
Emotionally, he wasn't strong. So when you saw Mayorga go in the ring and beat somebody, he basically got in their head. I'm not saying he was a bad fighter. Right. He was just out of control. He was just
smoking a cigarette afterward.
Yeah. He was just he was a true end. I mean, if we could call somebody an end.
Yeah, he was a real.
I mean, he was from the country of Nicaragua. But
yeah.
his whole catch was to get in there and do whatever he could do to disrupt people. But I mean, so again, we say style made fights. Mayorga did beat Vernon Forrest, but Shane Mosley beat Mayorga.
Exactly. You're right about that.
So it's again.
But how did Shane lose to Vernon? And this is what I want to point out. Vernon had that jab. He kept that wild wiggly shit that Shane want to throw. Every time Shane wanted to throw that wild stuff, he reset him with the jab.
Yeah. But he was also, I mean, and
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
You got to think of Vernon Forrest, so over his career, he lost 2 fights. No, he lost 3. And 2 of them was to Mayorga.
Right.
Hold on.
You know what that tells me though, Ty? Vernon Forrest lost a lot of fights back when he was in middle school to girls because Mayorga knocked him out with a windmill. Ain't no boxer prepared for nobody be windmilling that.
Hold on. Wow. So Vernon. So again, this is the reason why I think Shane had problems with Winky. Shane was only 5'8". Vernon Forrest was 6 foot, 6'1", right. If at best. Winky Wright was the same. He was so against taller fighters. Shane had a lot of issues with taller fighters,
right?
Because of his size. Now there are some fighters. I'm gonna say I'm give Floyd his props. He was able to fight bigger fighters.
Yes.
Taller fighters. But Floyd Shane tend to struggle with fighters that was bigger than him. When him and Floyd fought, I would like to see what weight they walked into the ring that night at, because in the ring, Floyd
looked bigger.
Yeah, he looked bigger than
Shane.
And it wasn't, Shane just didn't have the muscle mass that he had at being at 5'8" that I saw him when he was younger.
And why is that, Ty?
Because he was older and he couldn't. The
motherfuckers found out about that company.
Huh?
The motherfuckers found out about that company.
Oh shit.
Why? Yeah, Holyfield ain't as cut no more either. Shit. That motherfucker found out about that company.
I think I'm not putting in. I'm down the middle. I don't think he definitely wasn't gonna be knocking them out. Shane, De La Hoya, Mayweather wasn't knocking none of them out unless it was just a 11, 12 round knockout because he'd been.
I think he can stop him. I think Pretty Boy can stop him. Money would have went the distance with him, of course, but he would have made him look stupid.
Yeah, but that was.
Can I point out real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out 2 fights. Y'all said the De La Hoya. Everybody think he lost the De La Hoya fight. Them wild ass winging punches wasn't landing that De La Hoya was trying to fool the judges with.
You talking about Floyd?
Against Floyd.
Yeah, no, I still would have given that fight to Floyd. I don't think De La Hoya should have. I don't think De La Hoya should have tried to fight. Again, it was for the money, but he was nowhere in condition. He needed to catch Floyd at least 5 years earlier than that.
Now, I'm glad you said that because everybody think that a 5-year younger Floyd sucked.
No.
For some reason. So let me say this. I want to go to the Pacquiao fight because they say he waited and waited for Pacquiao. How many times did Pacquiao get slept before he actually fought Floyd? I'm talking about sleep. I ain't talking about wiggle leg or maybe stop. Slept. Wife crying ringside to a guy that couldn't even land a hit on Floyd. Slept. So everybody thought Pacquiao was going to do it. I said, look, with all due respect, not trying to sound racist, but them wild karate ass punches ain't finna do nothing to Floyd. Every time he tried to start that bull crap, Floyd said, wait a minute, start up, reset. Now here, let me go ahead and get you right. Every time. So he beat him. Then he go, everybody hyping up who we just played the video on, Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, this is he too big for Floyd. He too strong. He too stiff. Floyd made that boy look like Floyd made that boy look like, since you want to talk about Jordan, remember how Jordan made God dog, what's that boy name? He was the best high school player and Jordan bust his ass. I can't. Y'all know my LOLD be on high, but that's what Floyd made Canelo, and then they had the nerve to say, "Well, Canelo was too young." In boxing, that's the advantage. Floyd was old at the time when he fought Canelo, in consideration to a boxing age, right?
Right. Sometimes that works in your favor. In that case, you got a 36-year-old Floyd Mayweather who is at the top of his game. The top of his game. You got a Canelo Alvarez. So I call
usually at 36, they kind of be on that decline.
Yeah, but Floyd was different, and that's why I say Floyd was the Jordan of his era, of his generation, because he was able to when you're talking pretty boy Floyd. Pretty boy Floyd was a good boxer. Money became a legend. He became that elevated him to be in the talks of the greatest, one of the greatest ever. So with that comes confidence. With that comes more knowledge of the fights. So you're able to, and this is where I see a Bud at right now.
Yeah,
Bud is not just beating people off of skill, physical skill. He's beating people off of how he understands the game, how he understands, what you're gonna do versus what I'm gonna make you do versus what I'm gonna do and what you're not gonna stop me from doing. So Floyd understands that. Where you bring in a Canelo, that Canelo fight, I'm gonna call that Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya Part 2, because Oscar De La Hoya was the reason why the reason why Mayweather got a 23-year-old Canelo who was not ready. And I'm gonna say that, and that's not giving him an excuse. He was not ready. And when you saw that fight, you saw he wasn't ready. You look at and again, remember what I said earlier, Floyd is fostering in another era of fighters that in some form or fashion, they're gonna imitate him. They're never gonna be him. You may get a Kobe with one of these young guys that's in there now, but you'll never get another Floyd. So even with your boxers like Canelo, a 23-year-old Canelo versus the Canelo of today, that's a different fighter. He now,
but hold on. I want to put a little pause right there, because the Canelo fighter of today is directly related to the ass whooping that he took from Floyd.
He learned from it.
Directly related to the ass whooping. So in that day where Canelo was knocking out everybody, they say he wasn't ready, but Canelo was knocking out everybody. He was beating everybody.
He was beating tomato cans. He was beating.
No. I would love to look at Canelo's record before he got to Floyd.
He was undefeated when he got to Floyd, I think.
It ain't the fact of undefeated.
I'm saying he was a champion. So he at least fought one person who had some kind of credibility.
OJ Mayo, matter of fact, thank you, Titan Spartan. That's my boy. He got my back, goddamn, because he know I got OLD. OJ Mayo is who I was talking about when Jordan spanked his ass. Okay, so let's do this, Ty. Jordan spanked OJ Mayo ass when OJ was in high school, right?
Yeah.
Right? Let's fast forward OJ Mayo being in the NBA for 5 years, right? And Jordan is now 45, something like that, maybe even 50. I don't know. You don't think Jordan could still spank his ass?
I mean, I could put at least 3 points up on OJ Mayo. So
OJ not no punk, man. But what I'm saying is he's still not beating the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, but he wasn't even. OJ doesn't even touch in those 80, 90 years. OJ don't even start on your typical NBA team. So
right. So check this out. Canelo. You said Canelo did. He ain't beating the Canelo of the day.
No. No. I'm saying you're not getting the same Canelo.
Okay.
To me, now
Right.
you get a better fight if and again, I'm not
It
talking
won't be
about
a
today
wash.
Floyd. I'm saying that same Floyd, if he fights an older Canelo, who I feel like Canelo learned from that fight and low key probably studies Floyd. He understands now. I go into a fight and I impose my will. I go into a fight and I have to beat this person physically, but I also have to beat them mentally, and I have to be smart. And you see now, when you see Canelo fight, you don't see somebody just going there just trying to knock people out. You see him as a technician, and so that's why I think that in hindsight it's easier. During the time, we can't say that. Because like you said, yeah, he young, he coming in, knocking out people, you put him up there. But in hindsight, you look back and you say, hey, 23-year-old Canelo physically may have been ready, but mentally ready for a veteran who was already on top of the game. You just wasn't ready. It's just like when as great as Kobe was throughout his career, his first couple of years in the league, nobody saw him being, they saw the potential, but nobody was saying, oh, Kobe, one of the best players in the league. He needed time to mature, and Kobe also needed to understand that where he ended up in his career, he needed Shaq. Shaq played a pivotal part of him growing to be who he was. Had he not had a Shaq, that may have stunted some of his growth.
Right. Let me say this real quick. Texas Rangers are up 10-1 in the third game of the World Series. Just wanted to report that, as well as Ty. So y'all be talking this Canelo is smarter now, right? And it won't be a wash. I agree. Mayweather wouldn't wash him like he did before. However, wasn't he a smarter fighter when he fought Bivol and lost? Like he came in with the same philosophy, that Canelo philosophy, and got his ass kicked by Bivol.
Yeah, but he tried to fight Bivol fight.
Do you think Floyd Mayweather is losing to Bivol?
No. And yeah, I mean, but that's the same thing when we
so real quick, Ty. I just want people to understand. Please give this man credit for being the Mayweather error, or being a fact at the fact that he was smart enough to make moves that highlighted his strengths. Also, Mayweather did nothing but WWE this thing. He played the heel to get all y'all to buy the pay-per-view thinking he was going to lose, and he whooped the ass of whoever it was in front of him. A person can't help who's in their era. Oh, if you was in the whatever era, you would have lost. Well, I wasn't in that era. Roy Jones suffered the same type of situation when Roy was just polishing folks, and he'll never beat a Ray Leonard. Well, you damn right he'll never beat a Ray Leonard and all them, because he wasn't there.
But
he was too.
You know why people are passionate about that? Because the same thing that people give Floyd credit for, they bash LeBron for that.
What you mean? That the era in which the competition?
The competition, the era that he's in, and the things that he did to get titles. But
LeBron is actually losing to the competition too, so we can't.
Well, I mean, I think that's overrated to a point of, I think you get credit for being undefeated, but I don't think that makes you the GOAT just because you went undefeated.
The only thing that undefeated did was it messed up boxing.
Right.
Because now boxing feel like if a fighter is defeated, they're done. They be talking like after 2 losses, they be talking to a fighter about, so are you gonna retire?
Well, that's why boxing went to the state that it was, because it did mean it was like college football up until they start doing the playoffs. And it's still a little bit to today, but it used to be, before they came up with the playoff system, you lose one game, your season over with. And it didn't matter when you lost it. You could lose a game 2, and then go undefeated the rest of the season, and you still was not ranked. So
I agree.
boxing eventually became that where you couldn't lose. Otherwise, you were out of the running for being called great. And that's not the case. In fact, to me, the greatest sign of a champion is to see them fail or come up short and then come back and redeem themselves. Then you see, okay, on any given night, because in this that is a sport outside of MMA, on any given night, you can lose by one lucky punch, or a fighter
A bad
can go in
night.
there.
A bad night.
Yeah, a bad night. A fighter can go in there and just not feel right in their body. They could have a bug or a sickness that they don't even realize that they're dealing with. And it's like now. I know I've made jokes about Spence, but when we look at what Spence did before Bud, for people to just say, "Oh, he should retire," because he lost one fight.
Well, Spence was on roller skates that night. Also, Bud was, man, I ain't gonna lie. You got to give Bud his props.
Right.
I didn't know Bud, but I give your props, bro. That's one. But when it comes to Spence, the only reason why I would even think about saying retire Spence is because we got to understand how bad that car accident did his body.
Yeah.
And I know he's been in other fights since then, but that having that type of car accident, you will never be the same.
Right. If the issue with Spence is a physical issue and a mental due to the accident, then yeah, I'm for that. I understand the retirement, but they were just saying, oh well, he got beat so bad by. If that was just a moment of, hey, you ran into somebody who just was much better than you, or it was a bad night for you, that's no reason to retire just because you got one blemish on your record. You come back,
Right.
and you do the rematch, or you don't even take the rematch. You say, you know what? Let me rebuild myself back up. Let me come back, have a couple of tune-up fights to show that even though this guy beat me, I lost to the champion. But you other boots and all of y'all y'all not finna pass me. So when y'all try to pass me, I'm gonna fight y'all and show Bud that, you know what, if you gonna fight, you gonna move up and fight somebody else, or you gonna have to fight me if you stand in this division, because I just went back down, whooped everybody else, and let you know that maybe I had a bad night with you, but ain't nobody else worthy of fighting you outside of me. If that's the case, then I think that's what he should do. But if mentally, if he's scarred or physically he's in harm, he needs to retire, but not because you lost me in fight.
The man's face was bleeding without a cut. That was concerning. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the surgery that he had to put himself back together. You see what I'm saying? You can't be just constantly taking punches on that. That's just my opinion. Hey, look, to each his own. I just don't want to see somebody get critically hurt or die in the ring. And of course he had a bad night, but again, you got to take that accident he had into consideration.
Yeah.
I left this up. Titan Spartan said Canelo stole Mayweather fighting style after he lost. He believed he was 40 or 39-0 at the time he fought Mayweather.
Who?
Canelo. I don't know if he had that many fights at that age.
No, he couldn't have had that many fights.
Yeah, I want to look that up. And he also said Miguel Cotto gave Mayweather fits. He did.
But Cotto was a bigger fighter too. And so this goes back to the Trinidad thing with Roy Jones. It's a difference when you're fighting somebody, you're used to fighting people at 147, their power punches, versus now you go up to cruiserweight size and now you taking punches from them. You ain't gonna be able to manage that. So with lack of speed, Trinidad never was a defensive fighter. He would take some punches. He got knocked down some fights that he came back and demolished his opponent, but he didn't have the strongest chin. So when he decided to move up after Bernard Hopkins, beat him, and the minute he signed that Roy fight, I said that was the biggest mistake ever. His career is gonna be over with.
And that was a washed Roy.
Yeah. But it was just at that point, Trinidad was reaching, and he should have stayed. He should have stayed at middleweight. That would have been more. That was more his class. He got out skilled by Bernard Hopkins, because Bernard was a smarter fighter and a dirty fighter, but he was a smarter fighter. I would have rather seen Bernard and Floyd try to fix that and make that happen. I mean, not Floyd, Roy. Yeah,
Roy and Bernard should have happened earlier.
Yeah, it was the same thing, because Roy beat him, but people were saying,
No, Roy outboxed him by far, but they feel like him and Bernard should have got in way before they turned 40 freaking years old.
Yeah.
And I'm man, look, I'm gonna say this. Yo, I've been in the ring before, and folks don't understand how size really do matter when it comes to punches and having the ability to take a punch.
Yeah.
And so I hit, dude, this is God honest, man. It used to be this dude named Raheem. I talk about him all the time. This dude was cut up like jail cut up. And then his legs was like little. So you got this cut up dude who can move because his legs little. I swear to God, Ty, I hit this dude with the hardest jab I ever threw in my life. And this motherfucker didn't even frown. That jab would usually back up anybody my side, anybody. Back him up. That dude did not frown. When I say size matters, and what I was expecting for you to catch me on was the Canelo B-ball. Canelo, you went too far.
Yeah, no, that's why he came back. And you know what? They didn't even trip. They didn't trip on that, because they knew it was almost like
they knew he went too far.
Yeah, that was almost like the Charlo. Like, I mean, Charlo used that excuse, but they knew going into it.
Charlo knew he lost at the press conference.
Yeah,
his whole spirit wasn't even right. That was number one. Number two, Canelo fought the wrong Charlo, in my opinion.
Who?
The bigger twin is the undefeated twin.
Yeah, the brother.
He fought the wrong Charlo. You went and fought little Charlo. The super middleweight champion, Charlo, undefeated. That's the one he should have been fighting. Now, also, I do question his ability to continue to grow like that and be strong as hell like that. So Canelo, I would want to check your piss. But going back to the Mayweather era, I'm gonna say that it's facts. I think from an overall standpoint, this is why I feel like Mayweather's the GOAT right now. From an overall standpoint, not the fact that he retired undefeated, but he retired not damaged much. He retired a multi-millionaire. So, and I'm talking about the whole package. From a business standpoint and everything.
Yeah.
You got to label him the GOAT because everybody else is broke or broken up.
But I mean, when you name his era, and who do you put in that era? Because so clearly we're defining that De La Hoya, even though he fought some of these guys, they were done. They weren't really part of his era. Because before you answer that, this is what I'm putting against, and just from top to bottom, I go to the 80s, 90s era, and we can say we had a Ray Leonard, or more like 80s, early 90s. We got Ray Leonard, we got Roberto Duran, we got Tommy Hearns, we got Marvin Hagler. We even can throw in on the low end of Iran Barkley.
Yeah.
So you got that five line up right there. And it's probably somebody else I'm missing.
Hey, Ty, real quick, real quick. Let me say this real quick. You're gonna have all those greats like that in those eras, even from heavyweight all the way down. Why?
Yeah.
Because the world was different. You had to
Mhm.
fight to feed folks.
Right.
It ain't like that now. It ain't like that now. It wasn't like that in the Mayweather era so much, where boxing was the only, like, for real, back in the day, for a person not to know how to box was like we look at folks when they don't know how to hoop. They were fighting back in the day. That's why you had so many tough greats. Even going even further back than Ray Leonard and them, when you went to Ray Robinson and them, you had greats from heavyweight all the way down, because that was like hooping back in the day.
Yeah.
So I want to say this, since I'm watching baseball, you see how many great black baseball players we had in the 80s, 90s, but how many do we have now that are from America?
Yeah, we don't. Well, that's part because we don't
do that no more.
Yeah, we don't push it. We don't push that kind of, that sport. We don't push boxing.
Right.
Some of that is due to, the trauma that, the physical trauma that it causes. But let me say this real quick. I see one of the comments talking about Canelo fighting. Traditional, I hope nobody take this personal or offensive, because it's not, it's facts.
Oh shoot, he was 42-0 when he fought Mayweather, but go ahead.
Yeah, traditional Mexican fighters fight a lot. They fight a lot. Like just give you a rundown. This was insanity to look at. I'm going to tell you, Canelo had a fight October 29, 2005. So in the year 2005, he fought October 29th. He turned around, had another fight November 26th, the same year. Then had another fight January the 2nd. January the 20th. Then had a fight February the 10th.
Yeah.
Then he took a break. Look, he took a break, had a fight, had a fight in June of the same year. Then had another fight July the same year. September, had two fights in September, and then took a break and had a fight in December.
Hey, the fact that you said take a break got me laughing.
Right.
That's a break.
In 2 years, he had already had 9 fights.
That's how they used to, and I ain't gonna lie, I commend Canelo, because you remember at one point Mike Tyson was fighting like once a month.
It seemed like it, yep.
Yeah, Mike Tyson. No, I'm talking about before he became popular.
Mike
Tyson with Customato, he was fighting once a month as a pro.
Yeah. In 2008, Canelo had 9 fights.
That's insane.
Like
that is insane.
Yeah,
would he go 9-0? What was the level of competition?
Well, one of the fights was hold on, where is it?
The Tuesday night fights in Fort Worth.
Municipal Auditorium, and he won. He lost that by decision. So
Ty, you know they got that Tuesday night fights in Fort Worth. Shout out to Coach Lamb.
Look, by the time he got to his 5th fight, he was 3-2. Wow. He had lost 2 fights.
So in 08?
No, in 06.
Oh wow. Okay.
He had already lost 2 fights by decision. Hold on. No. I said that wrong. No, he had a draw. He had 1 draw. My bad.
Yeah, Tyson. He said Tyson was doing the same thing at 15 and 16 years old. We know Tyson was knocking grown men out at 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. So the fact that De La Hoya, because De La Hoya was quoted even saying that he finally found somebody to beat Floyd. So
he was hyping him up.
So he threw him in there, and to me that was a big mistake. Like you don't take a young fighter like that and just throw him in there. But it came from the way that Canelo beat Cotto.
Right.
When he beat Cotto, then all of a sudden
they knew he was gonna whoop Floyd.
He was the great white hope. He was you know, and it was like, no, that you can't push somebody that fast against a great. If you still throwing them in there against some tomato cans, then okay. But I mean, I just don't see anybody. Okay, so this leads back to the point. So I named the 5 from Ray Leonard's era, and then I'm gonna go the era that Shane was seeing. You take Shane, and he's not in no particular order. You take Shane. I even throw so let's do the top. De La Hoya. You got De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad. You got Shane Mosley, and then you got to throw Vernon Forrest in there because he was the champion for a while. And then you got to throw a Winky Wright in there.
Right.
To me, and so you got those. So we got 5 on 5. Now give me the 5 from Floyd's generation.
Now that is a good question because Floyd falls in between generations, kind of.
Right. And so look, let me pat myself on the back with this genius over here. To me, Jordan falls in between a generation too.
Why we steady trying to attack Mike?
No, because it's the comparison. It's the comparison of how people will say Jordan changed the game. I believe Floyd changed the game, but then when you want to say clear cut, he's the greatest without any debate, then to me that's where the flaws come in. When you say, okay, name his competition, name his generation, and when you stuck in the middle to say Magic and Bird wasn't Jordan's competition, he never beat Bird, right. So you can't put that in the classification. When the Bulls beat beat the Lakers in the championship, that first championship, was that the Lakers that we grew up watching? No.
That was 10 years past the Lakers that we grew up watching.
Right. But that shows you how weak the West was. But
that competition that came in after the Pistons, when you talk about them New York Knicks, it ain't too many people whooping them New York Knicks.
What did they do?
Who? The Knicks. Look at when we talk about Jordan, and I'm not gonna go too deep into Mike, but look at how many people Jordan prevented from getting a championship.
Okay, that says a lot about him, but that also says something about them that they weren't good enough because he did leave. He left for how many years?
The 2 Akeem got.
So he left for 2 years, and then he left, and then the 1 year when he came back, he wasn't. They say he wasn't.
He wasn't right. He had the baseball body.
Yeah, but he hit 30 something, and he averaged 30 something points. Okay, but he wasn't right. Okay, I'll let y'all have that one. But
he had the baseball body.
See, this is where sometimes we don't let go of the past in certain parts, and then we forget about the past in other parts.
All right, great.
I grew up during that time. The Knicks during the Jordan years would get 200 put on them these days by any of these elite teams.
Yeah, because all of them be thrown out the game.
Well, outside of that, when you can only score 70 points and these boys out here can shoot
not the same game.
Huh?
Not the same game.
Oh,
no, all of them teams was winning 89 to 86.
But you know why?
You never saw 100.
So this goes back to this is going to support my Jordan theory even more. Most teams back then, if you had 2 good scorers, you were an elite team. These days, some of the top teams go as deep as 4 good players on a team that can come in and light it up. A lot of teams didn't have that. When you talking about Vinnie Johnson coming off the bench for the Pistons, Vinny Johnson averaged like 11 points a game, but they called him the microwave. What are you warming up? Hot dogs? Like 11 points today means nothing coming off the bench.
What do you want to? Wait, Ty.
And I'm a Detroit, and I'm a Detroit Piston fan, so don't nobody think I'm trashing them. I'm just saying the level of competition. You didn't have the type of scoring in skill set that you have today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Ty, you a Detroit Pistons fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? All right.
Yep.
So, do you think Giannis Antetokounmpo will be able to come to the hole and lay it up and dunk it every time he come down on them damn Detroit Pistons?
If they didn't, yeah, he would, because he would foul out.
He getting clotheslined.
Oh no, he will get clotheslined.
He gonna have PTSD before he take his ass down in that lane.
But half of them gonna foul out the game.
He would. Let me say this again, because I saw somebody get punched back in the day and didn't get thrown out the game.
Yeah,
it's different. It's different, and I would love. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Mike play in this era, and I would love to see a couple of them go back and play in back in the day era. And I totally believe that everybody will adapt to the era in which they're in because they were that great or they are that great. However, we can't say because a team would only score 79 points that they will get blown out today based on if we were going yesterday's rules.
Okay, let's take
Giannis went to the hole like for 10 straight points without nobody touching him. That ain't happening back in the day.
Giannis is similar to a Sean Kemp with probably more ball handling skills.
And Sean took out the air when it counted.
Yeah, but he was considered an all-star back then. So Giannis at best would have been a nice version of Sean Kemp with a little bit of skill. Let's go to this competition, because again, this still supports my theory on who is Floyd's competition. Same thing with Jordan. You look at them. The first thing people say is look at the Indiana team. Look at the Knicks team. Okay, let's break down the Knicks starting lineup. What's his name?
John Starks.
John Starks doesn't start in this league this year.
That's not true. That's not true. If Pat Beverly's starting, John Starks is starting.
Pat Bev doesn't start. He doesn't.
Right now.
Okay, so Pat Bev makes a difference outside the defense.
Wait a minute. So no, don't try to take away that argument. Pat Beverly was starting on somebody's team before now.
Houston.
Now, you trying to say John Starks would not be a starter in this league?
Yeah, because John Starks don't play defense like Pat Bev.
I don't agree.
John Starks will average 3 points.
And I used to hate Little Butter Man too, but I disagree.
You never heard about John Starks was not a good. He was a good. No, John Starks was an NBA player. I'm not even gonna say he wasn't a good player. Yeah. Who's their shooting guard?
Hey, wait. I think it was Doc Rivers, bro.
They say Antonio Pack.
Shooting guard. I think it was Doc Rivers.
Hand checking, Derek Harper dropping 30. You ain't getting 30. What? No, you ain't would have fouled out. You said the hand checking.
Wait. I'm sorry. You said who they shooting guard, right?
No, I think John Starks was a shooting guard.
Okay, I think Doc Rivers was the point.
Okay.
Right.
So this is the other thing, and I think we talked about this last week. Jordan was 6'6". John Starks at best was 6'3". So most of the shooting guards in the league at that time, Jordan said the best defender on him at shooting guard was Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars was 6'4". If that, I don't think Joe Dumars was 6'4".
Joe Dumars seemed like he was shorter than that.
Yeah, you see him now, he looked like he's 5'8". But
but you can't say you're saying that's true, and that's when there were positions, because we're in a positionless league now, right?
Right.
But
everybody
also went up against Clyde Drexler and other tall shooting guards.
Yeah, him and Clyde was probably the biggest shooting guards outside of Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller wasn't a defensive player.
He wasn't athletic either. So.
Yeah, Clyde Drexler wasn't a defensive player. But I'm saying you break down the teams during those Jordan years, and you break. I'm giving you I don't care. You take away the defense, you take away the hand checking. They weren't scoring points. They couldn't score points. You didn't have pure scores like you have like Dame Stoudemire. I mean, Dame Lillard. Like he would score 50 against them guys. And I'm saying these players, I think you move. People saying
wait. So if Scottie Pippen pushed up on Dame Lillard, he's scoring 50.
Yeah, he's still scoring. You know why? Because he's shooting. He's a shooter. Reggie Miller survived in that league in that era because he was a shooter, not because he was physical, not because he was a big guy. Reggie
was a shooter. Yeah. However, Reggie was a runner, and people got tired of chasing him. Now, Steph would score the way he scored in this league, but Dame ain't that dude.
What?
Dame is not running off picks.
No. But Dame is a pure shooter.
No. Listen, when I say Dame ain't that dude, I'm not saying he's not that motherfucker, because he is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying he's not that running off pick shooting pick.
Right.
He's not that dude.
Right.
So he's a take you off the dribble, jab step back, that dude.
Yeah.
He's not dropping 50 on Scotty.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say on Scotty, but now, in that league, during that era, yeah, you didn't. That's why it was such a big deal when you did have pure scorers back then, like when a Chris Mullin came in. Outside of shooting, Chris Mullin sucked. He was a pure shooter. And again, they was waiting for another Larry Bird to come in the league. Chris Mullin had one of the coldest jump shots ever. But outside of that, he had no game. In today's game, Chris Mullin would be the same. He would be just as successful as he was. The only reason why he survived then because he was a shooter. You take any good shooter back in the 80s and 90s, and they pretty much were good players in the league because they didn't need defense, didn't bother them. They still could shoot. Long as they could get open, they could shoot. A John Paxson, a Steve Kerr today, nah, they would flourish.
So they wouldn't be in the league.
John Paxson would, but no, they could have.
I know one thing: you ain't gonna be fronting on Thunder Dan Marley.
No, but Dan played defense too. Thunder Dan
was the first from half court.
Yeah, Thunder Dan could play. He played defense,
right?
But some of them guys in that era,
Martin said Starks had defense and offense, and I think he did too.
No, he didn't. Like I guarantee. Look up his stats. He didn't average 15 points a game.
That ain't. Oh, you talking about from an offensive standpoint?
Right. Yeah.
You
then
take
you're not
away hand checking and playing with today's rules. Derek Harper dropping 25.
Well,
you ain't getting 30.
Now, see, we give everybody an excuse for the hand checking except for Jordan. Jordan scored the points, so why couldn't they do it? If they were that good, then they would have been scoring it too.
You got.
I'm just saying.
Mike was different, dog. Mike was different.
He was
in that tough ass era. Mike was different. Dog.
It wasn't about being tough. It was about some of them guys could not shoot.
So I'm glad you said that. It ain't about being tough when it comes to Mayweather era. Now, real quick, I wanted to say this, and then we can jump back to the basketball. But Mayweather asked for those fights early against Mosley and De La Hoya. They wouldn't give them to him. They ducked him technically. You do know that, right?
I don't remember that, but
oh yeah, he asked for the fights when he was Pretty Boy.
Yeah,
they would not fight him.
I would have turned it down too. He want the money.
That's why.
Yeah.
Now he money. They all in his pocket.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at it. It did during that time when De La Hoya was on top. The big money fights were gonna be Trinidad or Shane. It wasn't gonna be with Floyd. They barely knew who he was. He was down at 127, 130.
He was at 130, I believe. 130, 135.
130, yeah. They weren't checking for him. It's the same thing with like now what they talking about is certain people. Oh, this person needs to move up and fight Bud. Why would Bud fight like Boots? Why would he fight Boots if he got Canelo at that time, Charlo, and either Spence again. Why fight Boots and don't make no money when you got all this money in front of you? So a younger Floyd wasn't gonna get those fights, not that early in his career.
Right.
So I mean, I think that's a difference in ducking. Floyd made money when he became money. He made money regardless of who he fought. So when he avoided fights with people, it didn't make sense because Floyd, you gonna get your money regardless. So why? So you have no reason. I saw an interview with Ray Leonard. He said the difference between their generation and the generation that came behind them was they weren't concerned about their record. They was concerned about being the best in their division.
Right. They wanted to be the best, period. They didn't care about.
So if somebody came up talking noise, then I gotta shut you up. And it didn't matter about it. It wasn't a matter about, oh, I'm risking losing and not being undefeated because I'm about to fight this guy. No, because if I think I'm the baddest, I'm gonna show you I'm the baddest. I'm not gonna let you sit over here. Because for a long time, people was holding belts. Even De La Hoya and them went through that for a while. You got 4 different champions, and none of them they can't get together and fight.
Well, that goes for today.
Yeah,
that goes for today.
You got 8 titles, and nobody want to fight each other because they're afraid that once they lose, then all of a sudden they're not marketable no more. And Floyd is responsible for that because his greatness is built off of. I think it diminishes what he really has done by him saying he's the greatest because he's undefeated. No, you're not the greatest because you're undefeated. That doesn't make you the greatest. And in sports, we contradict that. We contradict saying certain people because they never lost, that's what makes them great. But then other people, we hype them up and say, well, no, but they did lose here, but they're still the greatest. Well, one way or the other. We can't give Jordan the greatest boxer, the greatest basketball player of all time because he won. If you tell me you think Jordan is the greatest, and then you throw in, and I say why, and you say, well, he went to 6 finals and won all of them, so he never was defeated. He got the most titles. No, he don't. What about Bill Russell?
Bill Russell, yeah.
So if it's a number, so it's like, well, LeBron don't have this. Kobe didn't get 6. Kobe got 5, so he can't pass Jordan. Well, Jordan never passed Russell.
Right.
So then somebody want to argue something else. So you can't move the goalpost. You either said that's why the debate on who's the greatest always is going to be subjective. Unless they can ever play each other or fight each other, we'll never know. It's subjective. But when people say it's a clear cut, there's no way. No, I don't agree with that because I would rather see a champion or a person lose and come back from that loss and dominate because you see the growth in them. You see and you see
overcoming adversity. You love to see somebody overcome adversity.
If Floyd went in there, that's why now I don't even want to see him come out of retirement. And it has nothing to do. Please don't come out of retirement because if you fight and you lose, then first thing people gonna say is, one, he never should have did it. He was too old. Whoever he fought, he shouldn't have fought him because he was too old. Blah blah blah. But then that kills the whole talk of so undefeated does matter. No, it doesn't matter. But because you made it. That's part of your thing. Then guess what? To me, when Jordan came back in the league and played for the whoever that sorry team, Washington.
Yeah, that don't count.
Because that to me that kills the there's no way you can compare him to LeBron. Yeah, LeBron played for a lot of teams, but LeBron always has, up until he's damn near 50 now. His teams have been relevant. Jordan played for a team and they didn't go nowhere.
Well, my thing is that's true. I think first of all, this is my discussion when it comes to GOAT. When it comes to GOAT, I truly believe we got a pasture of GOATs. I don't think we have one GOAT. So I hate to even hear that argument in any realm, whether it's the greatest rapper or the greatest singer or the greatest whatever. Man, black people too damn talented to have one.
Mm-hmm.
That's first and foremost. So the GOAT talk, yeah, I'll entertain it every now and then, but I don't believe in it personally. So in saying that, I say who my favorite player is based on my categories. Like you're saying, it depends on the categories. It depends on what you're looking at. Because I never really look at Floyd's 0 as his greatness. That ain't his greatness. His impact on the business overall will change boxing philosophy for boxers for the next 30 years.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
The same way in basketball, Mike had everybody flying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wanted to hang in the air like Mike. Then AI came and everybody crossing over ankles, right? Then Steph come. Now everybody launching that bitch as soon as they get in the gym, like you said.
Right.
Those types of changes.
Right.
Is when you have that effect, that outside effect. Okay, yeah, Kobe had all the stats in the world, but what folks will say? He was trying to be like Mike.
Right.
Now, LeBron was just a freak of nature. Nobody had ever seen a kid that big, that fast, that strong, that skilled. And he inspired folks like Zion Williamson, big behind that can now dribble, and all these other big behinds that can dribble and dunk and do all that other stuff. He inspired a lot. So, in my opinion, again, to dice it up based on wins and losses is a real ignorant argument to have.
Yeah.
It's a real ignorant argument to have. I'll have fun because I ain't gonna lie. I am a Miami Heat fan. When LeBron did not show up in the 2011 finals against Dallas, not only was I hurt internally, but I had to take an ass kicking at work for that. I will never forget that. So I'm going to always ask that question, and I'm going to always throw that up to anybody who want to say that man is the greatest that ever played the game.
Yeah, I think
if you go back, Michael Jordan even said, I don't like for folks to say that I'm the greatest to ever play the game because there was too many people before me.
When did he say that?
Oh, there's an interview of him back in the day when they brought that up.
When he was young?
Not when he was young. He was midpoint.
Okay, because
he was midpoint.
They didn't say that.
Today Mike talks shit. However, and he's probably talking shit to the folks that's ahead of him. But that interview, he said, it's too many folks behind me. It's too many folks that played this game at the highest level for me to say that I'm the best to ever play the game.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron said, I'm the greatest player to ever play the game. That's in my opinion, don't toot your own horn. Titan Spartan said Mayweather changed the game for boxing, not because being 50-0 of his business sense. Boxing was getting screwed. Absolutely. Absolutely. You ain't even heard of Don King no more since the Mayweather era changed.
Hold on, but they still getting screwed. Mayweather the only one that came through. Came through that portal. So but he's sending other fighters outside of that damn Adrian Broner. He's sending other fighters through that chain to train them. So one at a time, but they are getting screwed though. Him and De La Hoya is doing that. So they keep
throwing. Hey, Todd, they keep throwing that Jason Terry shut down LeBron James.
That means y'all didn't watch that game. Jason Terry didn't do shit. Jason Terry hit some shots. Jason Terry did not do that. That boy, if you want to say somebody locked down LeBron in that series, that was Stevenson. Give the man credit. Jason Terry didn't do shit. Stevenson, whatever that guy named. It wasn't the same Stevenson that played for Indiana. The Mavericks
it was not Lance Stevenson. It was something Steve. You right. Thug Stevenson. I can't think of that dude's name, but he was a thug. It was some rough dude.
Like the Mavericks, but you know what? Going into that series, I said the Mavericks had the best team. And again, that makes fighters make fights. And I feel like you top heavy Miami.
Deshaun. Thank you, Titan Spartan,
Yeah.
Deshaun.
Deshaun Stevenson was the key reason for LeBron's troubles in that finals. Stop giving Jason Terry credit. He didn't play no
punked
defense.
LeBron, like Sean Murray and all them. They punked LeBron in that series.
Yeah, and I mean, when you looked at that Mavericks team, they didn't get the credit because they wasn't a flashy looking team. They didn't have like superstars. But that hands down, that team was a team, whereas the Heat was a three. They was three-headed.
Three-headed monster. We ain't had no rebounders, but Bosch was the big man. It was just a lot wrong.
Yeah.
We spent too much money on 3 players.
Yeah, the Mavericks had the perfect team. When you got Sean Marion in the middle. They had the right type of lineup to make it difficult for LeBron, especially in the mindset that LeBron still had tried to tone it down and not be a killer. Now, I don't buy the whole argument. People say LeBron had to go to Miami and learn how to take over a game, and he had already done that. He'd done that several times.
He went to Miami for help.
Yeah, he just didn't have the help in Cleveland. But again, he took down my Pistons team, and that was a solid defensive team. He took them down in 1 quarter by himself. So he had the skill ability. He just never had the drive because he wasn't people kept trying to compare him to a Jordan. He wasn't a Jordan-minded person. He was more like a Magic Johnson. Right. Everybody got to get involved. And when you don't have a Showtime team around you, you're going to struggle. And
hey, check this out. So
come on,
who
man.
was the center for Dallas when they lost to Miami in 06? I can't think of it.
Dumbass.
All right. That is the exact reason why Miami lost to Dallas in 2011. You know Dampier was on our team.
Yeah. He went back and forth.
He was the exact reason. That's the reason why the championship was lost. Now, we about to come to an end on this thing.
Hold on, man. I can't let them. Come on, man.
Oh, you can't let that ride.
Jason
they were alternating back and forth.
Man. Y'all know Jason Terry ain't play no damn defense. Come on, man.
Hey, check this out though. I'm about to welcome, because you are going to be on. This is the first time we're doing this segment.
Okay.
And we're gonna end the show with this one. And this is called How in the Hell Is This a Sport? Check it out.
All right, so boom. One of my subscribers sent me this video, and I am perplexed, flummoxed, flabbergasted at what it is that I'm watching. Evidently, Peruvian ladies having a battle of fisticuffs in what appears to be some form of wasteland. Evidently, they were trained by Piccolo.
Here we go.
Shorty getting her ass beat at the outskirts sand. This ain't the Pokemon Coliseum I remember.
Let it go. Turn away and slam the door.
What the hell? You know the most impressive thing in that video was?
What was it?
How tight all those people in the audience was. They was like I thought it was like a picture of people. Them was real people, and they was so damn close to each other they could fit in a Volkswagen.
Now look at this time. This is what this reminds me of. This reminds me of back in the day. We used to do this in the neighborhood where it ain't no fight. It's just, hey, you and you, come on, y'all off in the box.
Yeah. We
actually used to do that in the neighborhood, but apparently over there it is now a sport. So I want to ask the question: how in the hell is that a sport?
We just weren't smart enough to get paid for it. They probably get paid for it.
They probably do. Hey, man, we're about to come to an end on this thing, man. It has been a freaking blast. Man, I'm going to tell you one thing, man. I have to watch it because me and Ty, apparently we can go hours. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on here. You might want to come on again next week because we going WWE next week. I got to talk about this. So next week, we're going to talk about LA Knight. Is he a hit or is he a hack?
Yeah.
LA Knight, is he a hit or is he a hack? Next week on TMI Sports, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that y'all like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank y'all again. On the behalf of my special guest, Ty Ford, we are out of here, y'all. Peace.
Appreciate you, man.
I don't know how to get out. This is stupid. All right, here we go.